Just
Welcome back to Mike triggers his friends with his opinions.
Your opinions are so bad. I mean,
It's it's the Movie Club with Friends, your favorite weekly movie review show, right? Is that we review or we give opinions?
both.
Sure.
I'm just waiting for you to butcher the title of this movie.
Oh yeah. So this week was Life Aquatica, the Legend of Steve Wazowski.
well, he almost got there.
He gave it his best shot.
Julie, what's the proper title?
The proper title is The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, 2004 Wes Anderson film.
So, Johnny, this is always the weird week because Johnny's the closer, but because it's his pick, he's the starter. So, go ahead.
All right.
Why and how?
Okay. So, somebody mentioned this movie to me. She is very fond of Wes Anderson films. And
does this girl practice yoga?
No.
Okay.
Whoa.
Hey, I was just asking.
Oh, okay, that's it. Yeah.
We need to disown Michael 20% of the time.
Wait. It was just I was just wondering if that was the girl that he's seeing.
Shut up. Johnny, please go on.
Was that not a fair question?
It was the other girl that I first
You're not
started.
digging out of his hole, Mike.
Okay.
Just stop.
Okay.
Anyway.
Whatever.
So she introduced me to Wes Anderson films. I first watched Moonrise Kingdom by myself, and I really enjoyed it. And so, whenever it got to me this week, I assumed I would pick another Wes Anderson film, The Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou. But with Steve.
Oh, you had never seen this movie before?
Yeah, so I've never seen it, and as a graphic designer and trying to appeal to the art direction that they took, the claymation forms that they decided to use instead of real aquatic, it felt fake, boring,
out of place,
not exciting. Yeah, it's different, and I think that's Wes Anderson's take usually.
Yeah,
he's not trying to make it as serious as it can be.
Never,
and
ever. His serious is people are like, "Are you okay?" That's weird.
But I don't know. He didn't do it as tastefully as he did in Moonrise Kingdom. There was a lot more in that one that I got enjoyment that I got out of that besides this movie. So I'm gonna give this movie a 4, because there were parts of it that I did enjoy, the rescue mission about the auditor guy.
Yes, I love the auditor dude.
Yeah.
One of the I don't know why I just loved his character.
Yeah.
He's like, hey dude, I'm a person. I'm a real person. And then Bill Murray's just like, oh, I'm sorry. It was the first time he realizes that these people are real people.
Yep. Yep. I don't know. It's just the entire movie was just about Bill Murray trying to get revenge for his best friend, and
Moby Dick.
Yeah. I don't know. It's probably going to be a short episode for us, considering 3 people are gone, and
it's the movie club with some friends, but not all of them.
Yeah.
What did you think? What did you think of the music or the pacing of the movie? Okay, Wes Anderson is infamous for speeding up his films. Section, he'll speed up a scene and then he'll slow it down tiniest bit for it's really hard for people to notice, but he is infamous for doing just weird shit like that in the middle of filming. there'll be like a scene in the movie where they're like it's like normal pacing, and then all of a sudden it's like really slow, or all of a sudden it's like kind of faster. It's just really weird.
I guess going through it, I don't really remember that happening too much.
Cool. Yeah, I like didn't even register. I was wondering if you were gonna pick up on that more than I would, because of you being. I mean, I know you're not like a film person, like you're a graphics designer, but it's I thought you had seen this movie before. That's why I was just like, I'm really curious to see Johnny's take on the graphics movie, because like the whole thing, he like I swear, like if you, I'm not sure how many other Wes Anderson movies has everyone else seen? Like what movies
just
have
the one
everyone
for
seen?
me.
I saw the Royal Tenenbaums a long time ago.
What about you, Michael?
I'm looking through his thing, and I knew his name and I thought I liked him, but I don't think I've seen any of his movies. I really wanted to see Isles of Dog. That looked really good, but other than that, like I didn't see Mr. Fox or.
Okay, so I think I've seen the most Wes Anderson films then in this group so far. Then,
yeah,
because like this is like, but I will tell you, if you haven't seen a lot of his movies, like. Especially like Johnny, I do think Moonrise Kingdom was slightly different, but this is how all of his films are for the most part. Like they are like this, and they are very, very hit or miss. Like some people, like if you even look on Rotten Tomatoes, or if you just like ask around, like anyone, like people either love Wes Anderson films or people hate Wes Anderson films. And depending on the day that I watch it, I remember the first time I watched Fantastic Mr. Fox. I hated it. I was just like, oh, it's like the worst. And then I watched it like another time, like probably like a year or two later, and I was like, this is gold. This is like the best movie I've seen. It's just so clever. And so it's literally, though, it has everything to do with like how I feel that day. Because I've like Fantastic Mr. Fox, Moonrise Kingdom. Like I watched Moonrise Kingdom, and I did not like it at all. And then I rewatched it again. Like that's what I mean. Like I do think that Wes Anderson films get better over time than like that. So like right now, like my first initial impressions of this movie is somewhat similar. I'm just like, it's kind of awkward and weird, and like that's how I feel every time I see his movies for the first time. But they usually get better after rewatching, because there's so many small, tiny little details that are so cleverly done. That like, and he's just kind of like a weirdo, like the way he does, and like I appreciate the uniqueness. Like if I'll go with like what Michael was saying, like he does not follow the typical Hollywood style of making movies. Like he wants to be different, and so yeah, I don't know. Like that's what, like you just have to go into it knowing that you might like it or you might absolutely hate it, and you might feel differently from one day to the next. You know, like of how you feel.
Yeah. But, this, well, for me, like, really interesting. Just I'm looking at the IMDb of Moonrise Kingdom. There's only 2 people in the cast credited.
No.
Okay, so maybe I'm looking at the
Bruce
wrong
Willis,
one.
Edward Norton, Bill Murray. No, you're looking at probably the short. There's 2.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So, anyways, yeah, kind of what you're talking about. And what I always talk about. This, I guess I'll go next. This is one of these movies that I try to do something kind of different, but I didn't like it at all. I'm giving this like a 3, a 4, and a dislike. I'm not gonna say I hated it, because there were some parts that I liked. But like I don't know, like. So when he first meets his son, or his non-son, he like goes up and he has a cigarette, and then for some reason like his hand gets all blurry and slowed down, and I was like, why?
That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, he slowed down. I'm glad you noticed it. That's what Wes Anderson does. He's infamous. That's like a trait of his.
That's his thing, eh?
It's his signature. By the way, it was not a cigarette. It was a joint.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he smokes a lot of weed in that movie. A marijuana cigarette.
Like the amount that Bill Murray loves to be in Wes Anderson films makes me like. So Bill Murray came to Dallas last year to do a concert, and his my old boss went to it, and he said it was like the weirdest experience he's ever done. Like it was just like in the middle of it, he would just like scream, or he would just do like he would just randomly have an analogy in the middle of like playing a set.
Yeah.
And it was just really weird, and I'm just like, Bill Murray, you belong in Wes Anderson films. Just a fun, like I love Bill Murray, but he's such a weirdo too.
That's what I've heard. Like, you always see those like random posts about someone who met him in public, and he's like really like eccentric and nice and weird though. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think because I watched this today and. Yeah, at first, like, when he first got, like, the seahorse and it was claymation, I was like, okay, that was kind of interesting, and maybe that will, like, will that be important later? And then it never came back. And I was like, okay. And then, like, all the sea creatures were clay animation, so I was like, oh. So they just don't want to use real animals, I guess. Other than that, like, I almost fell asleep watching it twice. I found it really boring. It's like a satire, but I don't even know what
it is. It is not like it is. Like they openly, like
okay,
but openly said that it's Josh Cousteau's satire.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like maybe I have to know Jack Cousteau's stuff because like I don't even know what it's a satire on. It's like a satire on like comedy. The parts that I liked was this guy is so goofy and weird, but he's like the most badass person in existence. He's like all these gunfights, he's just standing there just shooting. I liked when they escaped the island and he's like, "Where's Cody?" And like they see him on the shore, and he's like, "We gotta go, we gotta go back to get Cody." And they all like look at each other, and he's just like, "We'll see you later," or whatever.
Goodbye, Cody.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Cody. Dude, like that's like, it's so like there's such small humor. And I don't know if they're like best of friends, but apparently Owen Wilson and Wes Anderson read a lot of their films together, which I think is really weird because I can't imagine Owen Wilson being a writer at all. And like the fact that I know that now after watching this movie, I'm like, oh, that explains a lot. I don't know. Wes Anderson's so weird. Owen Wilson's very weird too.
Yeah, I did like the final scene where they're in the submarine and just like his little monologue of, I don't know why sometimes lines get to me, and then just him being like, "I wonder if it remembers me," just kind of touched me or whatever.
My only problem with that, I was just like, is this, I couldn't really, I'm like, where is this, what is this relating? I feel like it had a relation to something else in the film. Because I was trying to like relate it to Owen Wilson being like, "Oh, do you remember my mom?" And like, "Oh, I remember your mother."
I think it was more of like this guy's used to be really famous and beloved, and he's kind of turned to shit, and he just wants people to remember him in some way. I don't know.
I think I'm gonna make all of you watch The Fantastic Mr. Fox, though. I decided that because I do think that that's one of his better films. That and probably the.
A lot of people talk really good about Mr. Fox when it came out. So
it's really good.
I'd be interested to see it.
That one's really good too, but I also think that one's gonna be a miss for some people.
Oh.
I feel like Fantastic Mr. Fox will be more widely liked. So.
Okay.
I liked Kate Blanchett's character.
The reporter?
Yeah. Pregnant one.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was my first time seeing Kate Blanchett in not a super serious role. I think.
I would say, like, I really like Jeff Goldblum He was funny. I like when they go to his laboratory and they break into it and they're just stealing everything, even like the cappuccino machine.
Oh yeah. Like the quote at the end whenever he's just like, "Is this like an espresso machine?
Yeah.
How did you guys get this?" And then the fucking auditor guy's like, "We fucking stole it, man."
Yeah. He's just like, does it really matter at this point?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
I did love William Dafoe's character too. Like they're like the characters like some of these characters by themselves were like really interesting.
Oh, okay,
What a
yeah.
cast.
William Dafoe.
Like Klaus is hilarious.
William Dafoe, like when they're starting the rescue mission, he's like, "I don't want to be on the B squad." And he's like, "You're doing this right now."
Yeah.
And he's just like, but what I love about he's just like, but you're the captain of B
Yeah,
Squad.
you're the leader of the B squad. Yeah. Yeah. So let's say like there's some lines that made me laugh or really made me think about the movie, but other than that, like, I just didn't really like it. So
Yeah. No, I get it.
July.
Like this is
Yeah.
this is like one of those things where like I'm not gonna fight you on it because I think like I don't usually recommend Wes Anderson films to people. Like if you like Wes Anderson films, you've already seen them. You know what I mean? Like you've already started watching them. In my opinion.
I am interested in, like I said, I wanted to see Isle of Dogs and Mr. Fox. I'd be interested
Oh, yeah.
and the Moon
This isn't-
one. I'd be interested in seeing.
This doesn't really throw me off of Wes Anderson films. Like it doesn't feel like now that I've seen this one and I didn't like it, like I'm just not gonna like the other ones because I think
Yeah.
what you're saying, Julie, like that it's kind of like day to day, like how you're feeling when you're watching these movies. Because I don't know, I probably could end up trying to rewatch this and maybe getting more enjoyment out of it. But
Yeah. No, I definitely because if I really like reflect back on them a lot, I swear like I hated Fantastic Mr. Fox, and then I rewatched it and like now it's like I don't know, like it's a quotable movie for me, and it's really really good. And like a lot of these movies like make me feel stuff. Like Wes Anderson's really good at like making me feel things in what I feel is very awkward times to feel this emotion.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he like is the king. I don't know. For me, like to making me feel like okay, you're making me feel sad in a moment that's like I'm supposed to be kind of like angry at you, I think, and like or it's supposed to be kind of happy, but you're also not super happy. I don't know. It's really weird. I don't know how to describe it. I think one of the reasons why I think Fantastic Mr. Fox is a good way of showing it is because like it's a kid movie, so some of the emotions are a little bit more like clearly defined than some of his other films. Because like Moonrise Kingdom is a good example because it's like all about adolescence and stuff, and it's just like all weird. And this one is like has like a mix of everything because it's a mix of like daddy issues with a mix of like I'm a hero but somewhat of an asshole, like self-realization issues to just like all these characters that have stuck with this guy for like the last 20-30 years, you know, following his aquatic life, and they all just have so many issues of their own. Like you just see them all have breakdowns or just like I don't know, like I just like even like well, I don't know why like one of the characters that really stood out for me was the cameraman Vikram, because he didn't have like a line in the movie, right? Like, he didn't
Yeah. And
He
he
didn't say
yells at
anything.
him so much.
Yes, he yells so much. He's like, cut. He's like, stop shooting when I say stop. And like, and you just see like Vikram, like he doesn't. It doesn't matter what's happening. He's just like, I'm here. I am filming this. Like my life is filming. He doesn't say a word, and he's just like so dedicated to his job. And like so many of them are like that. Like William Dafoe is just like I don't know. Like I even liked like the fact that he always wore shorts. Like everyone else like was wearing pants, but he always wore shorts. It didn't
And
matter what was
during
happening.
the
And the
rescue
hat.
mission, yeah, his was
Yeah. Like he like that's what I mean. Like those are like those small little details that I'm just like I can't. I don't know. Like, those are more obvious details.
Like I kind of liked how the inside of the ship most of the time was like so clearly like a set.
Yeah, he does that a lot. Like in I don't know, like in confined spaces. I really like that. I don't know why. Like that's one of the. I'm like I like to know like the diagram of the place that the situation that all these actors are in. You don't get that a lot in some movies, and I did enjoy that. I wanted to sit in that spa room. That spa room looks sweet.
It was pretty cool.
And yeah, I was really surprised when Ned died. Are we not going to talk about that? Because that surprised.
Well,
like I kept like yelling.
yeah.
I was like, "Is he dead?" Like I can't believe he died. Like he was talking, and the game's like, "No, he obviously died." I'm like, "That was obvious to you." I thought he was gonna come back.
Well, you could see that like there was like more and more blood in the water and stuff, but yeah, they just killed him off in the most just. It wasn't like a climax of the movie. It was just like, hey, let's go look for this fish. Oh no, it's like the airplane or the helicopter's failing. Now I'm dead.
I know,
then,
like, oh, and Bill Murray's like, it's gonna hurt, and then
yeah, and then they go find the fish. So like I don't know.
Do you think Bill Murray's character is like an asshole in this movie?
Yes.
Like, is he deserving of any of this fortune? Because like the entire movie, I was just going through my head. I was like, this guy is such a dick to everyone.
yeah,
And
but
he's
he
getting
What are those
everything.
interns?
Yeah, the interns. He never knew their names. It's just intern.
Intern number one.
Yeah.
Don't point that gun at him.
One of
He's
them
an
got
unpaid
shot.
intern.
Yeah. Yeah.
when the intern got stabbed was probably one of the funnier parts of the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. It was funny how just throw away these interns were. Because, like, we're following his point of view, so...
Yeah, no, we don't care about the interns. I did like, I thought it was hilarious that Matthew Gray Goobler was intern number one, like the one who stayed. Yeah, I was just like, what? You're supposed to be on Criminal Minds.
Maybe because of how back in the day when he was big and popular, maybe he was actually really smart and highly regarded, and he was just maybe there's a lot of that kind of floating towards him, that he kind of could be this asshole later in life whenever he's trying to get his shit back together.
Yeah, that's what the movie's about, is like he was like this legendary producer or filmmaker.
They didn't show it to a huge degree.
But
they showed like certain areas where he's like, oh yeah, this is why this is, and every time he said something like, oh yeah, that's that, and these things are this.
It
like
was
that.
wrong.
I always thought either he was full of shit.
He was.
Or, well, see, that's the thing, is he was supposed to be smart, so I don't know. Some things he could have been right on. Like the leopard shark. It turned out to be a fucking leopard shark.
So, I think it's kind of like a callback to early times when they were first exploring, like, animal species and watching them. They really didn't know how they worked or whatever, so they would just make shit up. And then now, so he's an old timer, and this girl comes, and she's like new and smart and whatever, and she's just like, no, like, these are what actually the jellyfish are. You're full of shit.
Yeah, I was waiting for them during the jellyfish scene. Maybe they said it and I didn't realize it. I was waiting for them to say that all those things they set out were fake.
Oh,
It was just used for the set, because it was very hard to tell.
I don't know if they. Well, I think Eleanor, his wife, was like the one that knew all the Greek names. She was like the really learned one.
Yeah.
And I think he was just like the personality behind it all.
Yeah, he's the face and the driving force and blah blah blah.
Yep. I don't know. And her character was super funny too, because like, I just loved the part where Steve Zissou is asking his wife if Ned can come live with them, essentially, like this person that's supposedly his son, and he's just like, well, yeah, it's because I know we're having a lot of problems, so I figured might as well. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
You're just like and that's another reason. Like, it's super small tidbit, but Jeff Goldblum and Bill Murray at the end, when they're just like, yeah, we've never made really good husbands, have we? Mm-hmm. And they're just like, well, I haven't. I'm like kind of part gay. He's like, well, apparently we all are, And I was just like, I don't know, like small fucking things like that. Just like, it's such a weird movie.
It was, and that's why that's why I said I didn't hate it.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, reflecting back on it, it is more enjoyable than when I actually watched it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because even thinking about the guy, I'm not even sure what his like business title in the Steve Zissou world, but like the passport guy, the guy with all his passport problems, but he just kept calling him like baby or whatever. I don't know what
Sterling.
darling, no, darling. He's just like, oh, he's like, I'm basically a fugitive. And then he turns and he's like, well, what should I do now? He's like, I don't know. Let me ask like his assistant. He's just like, he doesn't know. I'm just like,
I even love just like he's like when they're getting attacked by the pirates and they talk to the audit guy and he's like, well, they did take Ned as the hostage, but now that they know I speak their language, they're like reconsidering.
Like that's what I fucking like. That's what I mean. Like, so I'll be honest. Like when I'm watching the film, I'll probably give it about a 4. But when I think about Wes Anderson films more and more, and when I rewatch them again, I usually really like them. So, and they usually turn out to be probably about like a 6 or a 7 for me, like just depending. So that's kind of how I feel about it right now. Like I think like while I was watching the movie, I was giving it probably a 4. And then, but now like if I had a day to reflect on it, and if anything for me, like I'm actually interested in rewatching the film again and seeing if I enjoy it more. But because yeah, it's just all about like how I feel. Like I was worried about me watching it yesterday because yesterday I was really tired and I was feeling kind of grumpy, and I know like I cannot be in that mood if I'm going into a Wes Anderson film. So like especially so that's why Michael, like I understand like why you wouldn't like it today if you had a hard time sleeping last night, like you told us earlier. Like this is not the time to watch a Wes Anderson film. Like
yeah, I was gonna say that I probably will rewatch this movie at a point.
It's just
because I have a lifelong friend, and that's like his favorite movie and like his dad's favorite movie, and I never saw it with them or anything, but like I was always interested in it, and yeah, like you said, like talking about it now, I'm actually laughing at these moments that I thought were funny in my head, but I didn't laugh during the movie.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just weird. And like a lot of his movies are like that. So that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to see Isle of Dogs, but like when that movie was out in theaters, like I was just like, I don't know how to describe it. Like I was kind of like just very grumpy like mood for like a couple of weeks. Like I was going through shit and I was just like, no, I can't watch this movie right now.
Yeah.
I can't. Because I can't like these are not the kind of comedies that are going to make you become in a good mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're not easy comedies. Like these are comedies where you have to be in a decent mood already, in my opinion.
Yeah. So let's hear from Jared.
All right. I guess I'd give this movie a 5 out of 10. I did like some of the humor. But the problem is, it was just a very odd movie. So, while I did enjoy parts of it, other parts I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Why are you like this? Why are you doing these things? Why are you cock-blocking your not son when you're married yourself?
Isn't that so weird?
No, and he's like, I called dibs on her, and then when like Ned hooks up with her, he's like, you're not supposed to do that out at sea, and it's like, you wanted to though.
Yeah. And I'm like, you're not even like divorced from your wife, you asshole. Like you just like this is like it's obvious that him and his wife have some sort of loose relationship going on, but like but yeah, I was just like, that's so weird. And like I thought Ned was just like the weirdest, like sweetest character at the same time. Like I couldn't think about like, do I really like like this character this much, or is like, do I not really like him? And it's very odd, you know, like it's just like this guy from Kentucky with a really terrible accent, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And and he's just like in love with this pregnant woman that he just met like not too long ago.
And they made such a big deal out of like him pulling out that pipe, and I thought that was gonna like be a thing later, but no, he just smokes a pipe. But they made a big deal out of it. He's like, no, I don't do that. And then he pulls out a pipe and he like looks at it, and it's all like, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, 5 out of 10. It was okay. I wouldn't recommend it, but at the same time, I wouldn't disrecommend it, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Can we talk about the dinner that they ate for a second? I don't know why, like this scene that popped out at me. Whenever they're all like everyone on the crew except for Bill Murray is there, and they're all eating like these giant like crab leg lobster dinner thing, like, and
When
they're
was
just
this?
like, it's like when the other film girl, like the film girl and the interns, it's like right before they quit, and they're all downstairs.
The mutiny.
Yeah, it's essentially the mutiny. Yeah, and they're all, but like their dinner that they're eating is like all these like crab legs, just like
Yeah.
this extravagant
Well, 'cause
fucking meal.
when he was explaining the ship to Ned, he's like, "Yeah, that's the science room where we do our experiments, and then there's books, and then he's like, there's the kitchen that has some of the most scientific, like, expensive gear in the planet on it.
Yeah, yeah.
The engine room, he's like, yeah, we can't afford to fix it, but like,
Let's talk about the dolphins. I can't believe we haven't talked about the dolphins.
oh, and the dolphins. Where he's just like, I'm so tired of those fucking dolphins. They're just dolphins. They're dolphins with cameras on them. And if they don't listen to you, they get super pissed. They're just dolphins.
He's just like, apparently they're supposed to be like really intelligent, but I've never seen any signs of it.
Yeah.
It's just like, I've seen these dolphins do these things. They're just like, nope, they're not fucking doing it. They're just like, and just randomly you just see these dolphins that live underneath this boat.
Yep.
I'm like, what is this?
Maybe
How
Jacques
does that
Cousteau had like a pet dolphin or something.
I don't know. I think that's just like random crazy stuff. I just like, I just love like the shit, like talking on these, like, oh, useless dolphins.
Yeah.
God. It was just-
Did you have anything more to say, Jared?
No, I really didn't.
Wow. Gabriel?
Okay, well, so much has been said already. I just want to point that out, you hoggers.
Sorry, Gabe.
I literally don't have much to say, but I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than everybody else. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Gabe does love dry humor, though.
Yeah,
Gabe,
so
Gabe likes dry humor and like family fun humor.
I like dry humor too, but the problem was the movie
Yeah,
was
but
just weird.
But you don't like feeling awkward, Jared. Gabe loves feeling awkward.
Well, it depends what kind of awkward.
I don't like feeling awkward. I don't watch like
But you love
I don't
awkward
seek out
humor.
awkward
You like, I
videos.
don't know. You watch Incredible, the Impractical Jokers, so I just feel like,
Yeah, I can't watch it. My friend.
yeah, thank you. I can't watch
You can't
that.
watch Impractical Jokers?
No, it hurts.
I miss
hurt.
watching that show with you, Gabe. That was
What's that?
I miss watching that show with you.
The show was amazing.
Yeah,
wasn't
I fucking
No,
loved
it's
it.
It's
Have you seen it,
painful.
Johnny?
I've seen it. Yeah, it's
It's on 24/7, in case you're wondering.
it's
We're
okay.
gonna all the Steam Practical
it? What's
Jokers
your thoughts,
channel.
really quick? Thoughts, Johnny? Sorry, I gotta get this fast.
It's okay.
Oh, damn.
Thank you, Johnny.
Well, me and Mike like, and that's what matters.
Yeah, it's funny. Really funny stuff.
So I'll give it a 6 out of 10 and liked. Generally, it was a very weird movie, as we've all said. But for me, and I think it's because it's a weird movie, I felt myself trying to understand it the whole time, and I understood that it was that type of movie from the get-go, that it was just going to be super odd, but I was trying to track down the things here and there that I was just trying to understand better. And I don't know, I had a little bit of fun just doing that and understanding that some things aren't going to be explained. They're just going to flat out be weird. And I mean, I hated it and I also loved parts of that. So it wasn't huge for me, but yeah, like the context, that was the big thing I had that was stuck for me, is that apparently you guys were talking about it's a satire on, you said Crusoe? Jack Crusoe or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard that name. I don't know who it is. I don't know anything about that. So if I knew a little bit about that going into this, it might be a little better, because the context for me was one of the downsides. I thought I just didn't have any for the whole movie. Let's see, what else do I say? I really liked, one of the things I really liked was the set of the ship. That was probably one of my favorite things, is to see them walk around the ship. Especially that one where he's like, "Come, we're talking," and they all go through all these doors and all these winding
Yeah.
doors.
The argument between.
They're trying to find like a place to talk in private, but like everyone's in every room.
Yeah, they walk so far and then they make their way back, and the female's like right next to him at that point. I don't know. I just liked seeing it from that perspective because it felt like I was on a play or something.
Yeah.
But I'll say that the dialogue, for the most part, I didn't like at all. Well, there were certain parts that, like with the dog, leaving the dog,
Cody.
and certain areas where you guys are talking about how what's his name got kidnapped because he knew the language. But the general dialogue between, like even the intimate dialogue between the father and son, and certain things here and there, it just felt so off. And I get it; it's supposed to be weird, but it just wasn't appealing to me in any way.
So, sorry, keep going.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, did Bill Murray like know he didn't have did he know he wasn't his son the whole time?
I don't
Because
know.
Eleanor says like, no, it's not his son. He shoots blanks.
Well,
Yeah.
she knew about that, but he doesn't know.
Wouldn't Bill Murray know that though? Like, didn't they like?
He doesn't know. It's just he kind
Just
of
thinks
wanted it
he's-
to be true, sort of. So he just didn't tell the kid.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was. I think he probably knew all along, but then just I don't know. He's so empty in this movie, so maybe he wanted something, you know.
Yeah, I know. He's definitely going through some crisis, and apparently it's been a 10-year-long crisis. Like, and good for, like, his wife for putting up with him during this entire crisis. It's like, I don't know. Like, that would have been a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
And one of the scenes that I had to do like a double take, like later in the movie, I found out I was like, oh, so that's real. So many parts of the movie showed fake things like the fish and like some of his movies, they had to use like weird props for certain things that whenever they were going to rescue the pencil pusher guy, they found what's his name's shipwreck.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they did that, I was like, whenever they were showing that scene, I just thought to myself, oh, okay, so this is for the movie, and they're acting like, because he really hates that guy, he's acting like they found his shipwreck.
Oh, like they made a prop.
Yeah, like they made a prop, and they're acting like this because he really hates that guy. And then later on, I found out that it was real when they showed, like, because they don't really show any reason as to why, I guess, they would be there. Or what's his name?
Jeff
actor.
Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. They don't. I don't think they really give away any point that Jeff Goldblum's actually there until, and maybe I just didn't realize this until they show the graves of the freaking sailors.
Yeah.
And when they showed it, it's like, wait, who are those? It's like, oh shit, that was real. Like that's such a weird way to show it because like Bill Murray's on top of the ship and it just looks so stupid and fake. And I was like, okay, this is for the movie.
Yeah, and then they're all dead.
Yeah, the next scene is
So-
like they're all dead. I was like, okay.
So yeah, they made Jeff Goldblum go after them because when Jeff Goldblum found them after the attack, he was like, "Oh, they must have been the ones that broke into like your facility out there and like stole
Got
all
it.
the stuff." Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's right. No, that's right. After that, yeah, he thought that. So
It's
I don't know. I
crazy
thought
that-
that scene was funny.
It's crazy that all those dudes, or that those guys killed his entire crew except for Jeff Goldblum.
Which and then like yeah, so like he's like, "Oh, are you here to save me?" And then they shoot Jeff Goldblum, and I'm like, "Oh, he's dead." And then he's just like running alongside him,
Next
covered in blood, holding his
That's why I was
stomach.
surprised that Ned fucking died.
Yeah.
Like that's why I was
Yeah.
surprised.
Anything goes in this movie, and that's why I liked it. Like Ned could die instantly, and it was like, okay, it is what it is. And Jeff Goldblum can get up from being shot,
Yeah, that's a
And,
good,
Bill
that's a
Murray
good point.
run around in his bathrobe shooting people without any cover and not get hit.
First of all, like he's like in a bathrobe. He's just standing in the middle of like the hallway, and he's like his gun has unlimited ammo. He's just shooting.
I thought that
Well,
was
can we talk about like if we're talking about like crazy things, like even like like one of my favorite things in the movie is when they were showing his first film when Eduardo died.
Yeah.
And they're just like he's just like he was eaten by a shark. He's just like where's and they keep asking him where's Eduardo?
Yeah.
He was eaten by a shark.
Yeah.
He's like where's Eduardo? He was chewed up, eaten by a shark. He's like his eyes are crazy.
Yeah, he's got the
You're
craziest.
they're like Steve, we're gonna bring you in because we think you're crazy.
And then they cut to like clearly it's like another time where they just shot him in the water staring at the camera calmly.
Yeah, whenever that scene happened, also it was early in the movie that I was just like, I don't know if it was he wasn't showing the right emotions of seeing his best friend for his entire life being eaten by a shark, but it didn't seem like it was that crazy. So I didn't know. I was like, okay, so he's acting for a movie or something like that. So the whole time, the whole movie, I mean, I'm sure you guys felt the same way. You're like, okay,
Is he actually
he's
dead?
full of shit. Is he actually dead? Is there actually this shark?
So
and at the end, I really did like the ending with it, like proving to everybody that it was real.
So
I thought that
I thought
random blip. Oh. Hold on. Do you guys remember like whenever they had like 2 different blips on the radar? Like I assumed that second one that they didn't know what it was. I thought that was Eduardo. Like he somehow survived and he's just like been cast out.
Too.
Whatever, but whatever.
So I thought that it was gonna come back to be a thing that they were gay lovers, and then that never was a thing. And then I thought that
This doesn't follow your typical Hollywood stereotype.
and then I thought that it was gonna come out that he killed him or something, and then or that the shark wasn't real, but no, it was real, and
I think everybody was looking for something like that, and that's why he just decided, nope, it's all real.
yeah.
So overall, it was a mixed bag for me, but at the end of the day, I think I'm glad that I watched it. And I could probably watch that again. I'm not big into rewatching movies, but this one was one that I didn't understand very well. Watching it, watching it a second time would be better.
Maybe it does get better the more times you watch it.
I was reading some, even the critics, like they hated it when it first came out, and with time, it's become more favorable even with critics.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, like I'm not like it's really weird. Like
Okay.
I never really enjoy it while I'm watching it, but like when I'm reflecting back, I'm like, no, that was funny. That was some funny, weird shit that was going on back.
So we're kind of winding down here. Is Garrett home?
Nope. So I think.
So Garrett, it's supposed to be Jeff, and then if Jeff's not here today, so it's supposed to be Garrett, and now Garrett's not here, so
I'll call Mike.
should I pick?
Give me a second.
Okay. Let's talk about movies.
Wow.
Doing a great job.
I don't know what to say. We're just trying to eat up some time.
Yeah.
Tell us some interesting facts, Julie.
Okay. Apparently Matthew Gray Gubler, intern number 1, actually severely sprained his ankle whenever they got pirated by the pirates. And apparently it was because he really believes he's like infamous for wearing unmatched socks. He refuses to wear matched socks. Like he always wears like different colored socks every day. They never match.
Okay.
And that day was the first day in like 5 years that he wore the same matching pair of socks. And he swears because of that.
That's really weird.
It's also his film debut. Do you know who Matthew Gray Gubler is?
No.
Have you ever watched Criminal Minds? It's a great.
Yeah.
I really like that
He's
show.
a great actor too.
Yeah, he's a super good actor in it.
That was the one you and Gabe used to watch that a lot.
Yeah, we used to watch it a lot. And me and Gabe have seasons. I would say 1 hour TV shows go on for too long. Me and Gabe usually get disinterested. Has nothing to do with the TV show itself because I don't think they did anything wrong. And like even when we like stopped watching it, we were still very interested in it. It's just like I don't know, like it's too long. Like it's an hour long of our time for years. You know what I mean?
And
So, I don't know.
hour-long shows are really hard to get into, in my opinion.
It's super. And we were, I mean, like me and Gabe had watched like the first like 8 seasons, thing like a lot. But then we're like, nope, we're good now.
It's one of the reasons why I just don't start Game of Thrones, because it's 8 seasons in.
Yeah, but Game of Thrones. What I'll say about Game of Thrones is that it only has like 10 episodes per season, so you'll probably like it's not even that bad. But like Criminal Minds has like a lot of episodes.
It's just something. It's so hard to just sit down to commit to yourself. Even though like tonight I'm gonna watch like 3 hours of random YouTube videos, just to sit down and devote my time to 1 hour.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's too much. It's so dumb, and but that's just how it is.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I think you should. I still think you should watch it.
I should.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is really good. It's a really good show.
Yeah.
I know it's mainstream and all, Mike, but I would suggest.
Hey, you know what? This whole thing of Mike being like that's like when you first met Mike. Mike now is better for that.
He doesn't accuse everybody of liking a Hollywood ending.
No, I knew I was gonna get shit for saying that, but it's just.
Here, I'll save you really quick.
Yeah.
So Garrett won't be making it, but I will. He's given me his blessing to give his movie.
Okay.
What he wants to watch, and much to my liking, he wants us all to watch the Christmas movie Die Hard.
Oh, sick. Okay.
So I'll get a taste of Bruce Willis that apparently I need.
Yeah, especially if any of you listeners out there heard Gabe last week, we were just like, I don't really like his movies. Like 2.
Yeah. No,
he's just not my type of actor, but we'll see.
You don't know. You don't even know.
So, and the thing is like Gabe, like you're gonna watch Die Hard 1, and then you need to watch 2, 3, and 4.
Don't sequels always suck? Like I've never heard of any of these sequels being good.
2, 3, and 4 are all great.
Really?
Just great. Number 5 was terrible. Even number 4 kind of took time for it to grow on me, but there's just so many parts in that movie that are just so amazing that you need to see all the way to 4.
Really quick, not to sidetrack too much, but is all the Rush Hours good as well? I know you love Rush Hour.
1 and 2 are.
Yeah, 1 and 2 are good. 3's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, next week watch
Die Hard. I've never seen it. Excited.
Oh, you've never seen it either? Wow. Okay.
No.
I don't think I've seen it either.
How young are you children?
Yeah, right? Like
it came out in '98, and I was born in '94. So.
Yep.
Wow.
He's a baby.
I've seen it 10 million times because it was always on TBS in December.
I've seen it a few times.
See, it looked too old whenever I was like in high school. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah.
Anything before.
I thought the graphics are really
shit.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I was just like, yeah, those graphics look shit.
Yeah.
Graphics in Die Hard? Alright.
It's the special effects, probably the explosions.
I'm not saying it makes sense, Jared. I'm just telling you what my judgmental teenage mind thought. Okay.
Well, I'm judging your judgmental teenage mind.
If my parents did not pressure me to watch it, like they did most of the time to watch any film they loved, I did not watch that film.
Yeah.
Okay. Say bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.